Great.
All right, so we're recording.
Hey, Ed Hayshak. We'll shout out to him even though he's not here.
That's right. All right, guys, cool. Let's go ahead and get started. Looks like we got quite a few people on the call. There's some folks that we're waiting on that haven't shown up yet, but we're not going to make you guys wait. So thank you so much for joining today. If you guys haven't met me before, my name is Ira Feuerstein. I actually was a founder of the Nextiva Partner Program, and that was about 6 years ago now, and time flies when you're having fun. And, you know, I'm on new things here at Nextiva, one of which is trying to find really strategic partnerships that we could leverage to help our partners sell more. And one of the first ones I went after was this company called Clio. And we're going to talk about the legal industry today. We're going to talk about Clio, and we're going to talk about how you guys could possibly become part of this grand plan I have. I think it's going to be really great. We got some really special things that we're working on here, and I think it's going to be really fun. So I want you guys to ask questions, take it other directions. This is our time, not my time. And we're going to talk a lot about some strategy. We're going to talk about the Clio integration. We're going to talk about legal. We're going to talk about how we're going to go to market. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So before we go there, one of the things I want to tell you all is that we've handpicked 15 different partners across the United States that we feel confident in that also wanted to go into the legal vertical. You guys were handpicked because we feel like you guys are the best of the best. We're not going to do this with everybody. You know, we're going to test this out in the markets I'm about to show you with the partners that are on this call. And then if it works, you know, we may expand it out to other markets across the United States. And then there's other ideas I have other than legal. So this is really sort of the launching pad for all sorts of this strategic relationships. So before we go there, I want to kind of show you the map of the United States. And this is where all you guys are located at. We've got like 15 of you. You'll notice in some cities we have multiple partners. It's okay. I'll get to that. Don't you know, the one thing I don't want you to do is be freaking out because you have another partner in the same market going after the same vertical. We've got that all handled. But what I'd like to do is just go through a roll call really quick of all you guys, and then if maybe one of you from your company, if there's multiple on, just one of you make a quick introduction. We're going to start with the guys from Chicago because NetVoice now, John Parrow, was partner number 1 at Nextiva. There's only one of them, and he is partner number 1. The whole thing. So, John, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is John Parrow, and we've been around actually for 10 years, and we started with Nextiva 10 years ago. So we have an amazing relationship, and we're very excited about launching into this this industry because we already have 5 law firms that we provide Nextiva service for, and I really believe that this strategic partnership with Clio is going to be so powerful, especially in Chicago as well as South Florida. We have presence in South Florida as well. So we're really excited about this.
Awesome, awesome. BN team, I think I saw Larry Dubin on. Larry, you on?
I am here, and Kurt Nelson is here with me. So
oh, awesome.
I'm just trying to put us both on the screen, so I'm trying to figure out which room I'm in here.
I can see you guys.
We're there. Great.
You want to introduce yourselves?
Business Network Team, Cleveland, Ohio. Long-time Nextiva partner. Samsung top installing partner in the United States. Like everybody else, you know, we believe in Nextiva and are looking forward to an opportunity to bring some differentiator to the marketplace.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see, Brett and Jeff, are you guys on? I know Jeff was on.
Brett's on.
All right, say hi.
Hey, how we doing? My outside, the other side of Cleveland, Ohio. B&T's on one side, we're on the other side. We've been a Nextiva partner for the last few years and seen obviously great reasons to continue the partnership and expand it.
My question is, which side of the tracks is the right side of the tracks?
Depends on where you live and who and what your belief is. It is totally a religion thing in Ohio.
All right. Seeger, SCI, you're on? Eric?
Okay. I just unmuted myself now, trying to figure it out. Yes, Eric's here from SCI Telecom. We've been in business for 27 years and have been a partner of Nextiva for a while as well. We're excited about the opportunity, excited about the partnership, and looking forward to serving local law firms with it.
Awesome. ARG out of DC, you guys on? ARG, all right. Going once, going twice. All right. Neil at Epitome, you on? All right. NetBlue, I know, is on.
Yep. Mike here, NetBlue, Lexington, Kentucky. We're a few months into our Nextiva partnership, but we're really enjoying everything so far. Looking forward to making this happen with our legal customers.
Awesome. Awesome. CNSG, are you on? Let's see him. Versudia?
Yep, you said it right. Clem here with Versudia. I've been in business about 14 years this year. I've been a Nextiva partner for just about 2.5 now. Excited to just see what this partnership with Clio is about. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Glasser Technologies.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Glasser Tech. We've been a company for about 10 years, and our vertical is law firms. We have about 250 law firms we're already working with. That's our main focus. We've got some other companies as well, but pretty much our focus is law firms.
Nice. Awesome. Darren, Tracy.net, are you on, dude?
Yes, I am. Hello, everybody. Tracy.net down here in the South Florida market. We've been working with Nextiva. How long? Carl was our original channel manager. It's a long time and lots of good experiences. We do dabble in the legal a lot with premise-based through Switchvox, so we're excited to see how we can convert these and move them to cloud.
By the way, Darren has the, he is the one guy who brought me to the divest breakfast spot in the world. That was the best breakfast spot I've ever been to.
Challenge is on.
Yeah.
Is that in Miami or is that in Fort Lauderdale?
Fort Lauderdale. It's right at the executive airport.
What's the name of it?
It is, shoot, what's the name of it again now? It is the Jet Runway Cafe.
Oh, wow. I have to remember that.
Little hidden known place for the locals.
Yeah. All right, Chris at My Tea Group, are you in?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been selling Nextiva for a couple of years now, and real excited to bring this product to some of our current attorney clients and other ones in the area. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. XTB Solutions.
Yes, it's Offer. I'm in MSP here in Dallas. I've been in business 11 years. It's been a while since I have touched some of the Nextiva stuff, but I recently kind of joined back and kind of looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Great. Awesome. Guido Tech, Mark? Mark, are you on? All right, we'll move on. Intel, I know I saw Maureen at least.
Yeah, hi. Is Maureen on? This is Don.
Oh,
Maureen,
hey,
you
Don.
on?
I thought I saw.
Yeah, we've been in business as long as SCI Telecom. Does anyone remember when they started? 1992. 27 years.
Wow.
And we put our largest customer on Nextiva, did a great job, 10 locations, and went over. The cutover was fabulous, and we put many other customers. We're very happy. We love Denise. We follow her, so don't ever let her go because we follow her.
We love her too.
Denise Kopinski.
All right, great. So it looks like we had a few people not in, which is fine. So, okay, so let's do this, guys. So what I want to make out of this thing is that this is, to me, more than just us going into the legal vertical. I want to create a working group of partners that are willing to work together to help us all drive more business in our areas. And put it in perspective, I'll show you this list if I have it. I have a list. This, and I'm not going to go through the whole list. This is 272,000 lawyers. Emails, phone numbers, business names, you name it. So believe me, I've got enough leads to go around for everybody to keep you very, very busy for a long time. As an example, in the state of Ohio, we have like 12,000 by themselves, just in Ohio. You know, New York and New Jersey, we've got like 30,000. Like, it's crazy how many contacts we have. But what I want to do is I want this to be a working group where maybe once a month we get together, we talk about what's working, we talk about what's not working. I want us to help each other drive our businesses to the next level. I think there can be a lot of, you know, co-opetition, I like to call it. You know, we have, there's this one market in Virginia where 2 of our top 10 partners are actually in the same market. And when we come into market, we actually go to dinner together, all of us, because these guys just, they believe in co-opetition, right? They're not going to step on each other's toes. They're going to, you know, they're going to work together.
Are you talking about me now, Ira?
You're on, dude. Say hi.
Dude, hey man, it's Neil. Sorry, I was like 2 minutes late. I was driving and I'm like, 88 miles an hour is as fast as I'll go. And I was like, oh, I got to get on this. Damn it. So I pulled over and called in. I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry, I'm late.
So introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, it's Neil Massey, Epitome Networks here in Richmond. And he is right. What's crazy is in 4.5 years, we've only run into one customer that we've both gone after. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's what I want to come out of this, guys. I want us to work together so we can build something really special, and each of us can become laser focused on this vertical. Now, I know you guys probably, you know, have many different verticals you sell into, but what I'm going to ask of you is that you learn the legal vertical, you live it, you breathe it. We get sort of laser focused on it. You know, I always like to give this example. When you go to a doctor, I hate going to my primary care doctor. Can't stand it. Why? Because the guy never has any answers for me, ever. You know, because he's a generalist in a lot of different topics. He knows a tiny little bit, maybe even less than a tiny little bit about a lot of different things. And invariably, he ends up sending me somewhere else. Well, that's the same thing that I see in the channel. You know, we tend to have this very broad-based focus, and we don't become really great at any of them. And I think that, you know, by us all focusing on this one vertical, learning it, living it, breathing it, really focusing on it, you know, you guys can be the sort of go-to de facto standard in your markets for legal. I think there's a massive opportunity here for you guys, really massive opportunity, and I'm excited to have you all here. So, so you guys have seen the map. We've done our introductions. Let's talk about legal in general. So, anyone want to take a guess at how many lawyers are in the United States?
10,000?
Too many?
500,000.
So we got 10,000, 500,000, and too many. What else? 1.5 million.
Woo!
Let that sink in for a minute. It's one of the biggest industries in the United States from professional standpoint. 1.5 million attorneys in the U.S. Now we're going to talk about Clio today, but I don't want your world to revolve just around Clio. I think that's too limiting. Clio is big. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they create legal practice management software that runs law firms across the United States. It's very good. It's the de facto standard for small to mid-size law firms. When I say small to mid-size, I'm talking 100 seats and less. They own that market for law firms. Of the 1.5 million lawyers in the United States, 160,000 of them are using Clio. So they own 10% of the whole market. So it's pretty big, but I don't want us to get lost in the fact that, you know, there's still this massive market that doesn't use Clio. We still need to be targeting those people too. Very important, because we don't want to leave any stone unturned. But Clio to me is the easy way to market for the small guys, because they're the de facto standard for the small to mid-sized law practice. I'm going to show you a quick demo of what Clio does, so you guys get a feel for it. Let me go ahead and get this video up, which is a short video. Some of you guys might have already seen this, but if not, if you have, go ahead and just take a nap, and if you haven't, learn something.
To Nextiva Clio Integrator. Nextiva has written an integration between Clio practice management software as well as Nextiva hosted voice over IP phone system to ensure that all attorneys can easily access customers, easily look them up, easily dial them, and more importantly, track all the phone calls that come along with those customers. So let's get into it. We're going to show you all the different things that the Nextiva Clio Integrator can do. So you'll see here I am on the normal dashboard for Clio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cell phone here and I'm going to dial up my office phone number. And I'm going to mute this so it's, you don't hear echoes. My phone is ringing. You can see my phone is ringing up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and answer the call. Now I've answered the call, and you'll see instantaneously what has happened is Clio has automatically popped that client record within the database. All I did was simply answer the phone on my desk. Now, I could be answering the phone on my desk. It could be ringing to my cell phone. I could be answering it here. You can be ringing a soft phone application on your desktop and answering it there. No matter how it works, as long as you answer that call, Clio will notice that you answered the call and automatically pop to the correct customer record. Now, if there was not a customer record already in the system, it would ask you if you wanted to create a new record for that person calling in. So let me go ahead and hang up my desk phone here. So now you'll see we're on this, this record for Ira Feuerstein. Let's just refresh it really quick. And I want to show you what happens after we hang up the call. So you'll notice there's this tab up here called Communications. I can click on that, and there we have that incoming call that came in on August 12th. It was an incoming call from this mobile phone number from Ira Feuerstein to the extension on Nextiva, which was Ira Feuerstein. Now from here, you can go in and edit this record. So you can put in any notes about the call you want. You can create a time entry if you want based on this call. You can add it to a matter. So if I want to add it to a legal matter, I can do that. Save the phone log, and there you go. Now I've got everything updated right here. So that's what happens on an inbound call. Now let's look at an outbound call. So let me go back into this client record. The one thing you'll notice here is that the Nextiva Clio Integrator is very intelligent. And what it does is it actually will notice on any web page if there is a phone number. It'll hyperlink that phone number along with a little telephone icon next to it. So in this case, it notices that this phone number is a clickable number. Now, keep in mind, this works all over the internet. It's not just on Clio. So as an example, I brought up a search here on Google Chrome for Arizona Auto Parts. So I just found this Contact Us page. If I click on it, you'll notice there's many phone numbers on this page. There's an 800 number, there's a local number. Each guy and woman has their own phone number. They're all clickable. And every one of those will actually control my phone just by the sheer act of clicking on that icon. So if we go back to Clio, I can go ahead and click on the phone icon. Actually, let's click on the phone. Now it says, how do you want to do this? We want to open it with the Nextiva app, which is an app that I run on my computer here, which I did not start, of course. So it's going to start up. Let me type in my username. Now this is a phone app for your desktop. You don't have to use this, but a lot of people like to use it as their desk phone, but it could just as easily control the phone on my desk. So now that I have that app started up, let's go ahead and just click on the button. I want to use the Nextiva app. And you'll see what it's doing. It dialed that person automatically. Now you're going to hear ringing because it's actually ringing the phone. I'm going to go ahead and answer it on my cell phone. Now you're going to hear a little bit of an echo here because we're on 2 different calls at once. But let's go ahead and mute it. So you'll see what happened is it made that outbound call here. And again, it popped to the correct client record. And let's go ahead and just hang up on that call here. And then refresh. And if I go back to that communications, now you're going to see an outbound call, outgoing call. So basically what you're doing in effect is you're tracking every single communication interaction with any one of your clients. You can go back and obviously get reports off this, get phone logs, get anything you want to show every time that you've had an interaction with a customer via the telephone. Now, one other thing I do want to show you, which is pretty cool. So let's just say, somebody put a phone number on a web page, or actually, let me go into an email. It might be easier to show you an email. Let me open up my email here. Let me see if I can find. Okay, so here's a great example. Here's a phone number that's embedded in an email. It's not clickable because the way they did it in a picture. But I can just hover over it, copy it, and hit Control-C copy. What it'll do is says, hey, do you want to dial that number? So if you copy any phone number, you also will get the opportunity to build dial. So just a Control-C on any phone number anywhere in any application will allow you to do clipboard dialing and dial that automatically. That is our Clio integration. It's pretty straightforward, very simple. And basically what it's going to do for any attorneys, it's going to make your life much easier. Instead of going and having to look up customers and matter numbers and what they're associated with, or look, be able, go ahead and physically dial phones, you can save interaction time every single time that you interact with a customer via the phone. So we're excited to show this to you. And
so that's sort of the Clio integration. The one thing I noticed watching that isn't saying is it does the most important thing, which allows attorneys to bill for their time, right? When you're billing $200 to $400 an hour, every minute counts, and you got to track every single call. So that's the Clio integration. Any questions on the Clio integration at all? Make sense to you guys?
It looks really good.
It's pretty straightforward. It really is. So let's talk a little bit about how we're going to go to market. This is still sort of open for discussion a little bit. I have several ideas. Obviously we have this list of almost 300,000 attorneys, right? So that's going to be sort of our go-to. But what I'd like to do in each market is, we'll give you guys a segment of the leads. Basically, that'll be yours and yours only. So, if there's, like, as an example, in Dallas, we have 2 different partners there. You guys aren't going to get the same leads. You'll have completely separate legal entities that you'll be working with. One second. Somebody's.
Hey, Mike.
What you doing, Jay?
Hey, I'm on this Clio call, but yeah, sorry I couldn't take your call earlier. I was on a demo then as well, but.
No, that's all right, buddy. I was
Should we listen to Jay's whole phone call? Oh my gosh, hold on.
He wants to make sure he gets an invoice so he can pay it before the end of the month, so that's a good thing. He's got to get the governor of the web loaded.
All right, Jay's muted now. All right. So there's multiple ways I think we can go to market here, but understand this, that when we give you guys leads, they're going to be only yours. We're not going to give them to multiple people. Like I said, I've got pretty much an endless supply right now. It's going to keep us going for quite some time. But the one thing there's 2 things I think we need to do as a group if we're gonna make this work. Number one, we got to target all attorneys, right? We can't focus just on Clio because Clio is never going to give us a list of all their customers. Even though they love us, they love the integration, they're not going to expose that to us. So I think what we need to do is we need to cast a wide net out and be selling to attorneys in general. But then in our presentations, if they're a Clio, uncover if they're a Clio customer and then bring that into the mix. if they are a Clio customer. So the two things I think of right away as a go-to-market are, number one, we set up some webinars, right? Maybe we set up a once-a-week webinar that you guys are going to be reaching out to these law firms, and then you start warming them up with some emails or phone calls, whatever you're doing. Phone calls probably better, but maybe putting emails in there also, warming them up, getting them to a webinar that's very low key, not salesy, right? It could be a webinar on that. I'll do it for you guys. It's how lawyers are winning, at using technology in their business, right? And it'll be, an hour presentation, online presentation on the Zoom room or something like that, where we're able to talk about, hey, these are the things successful attorneys are doing with technology, specifically with communications technology, to help win and to get more billable revenue, whatever that is. We can kind of talk about what we want those webinars to be about. I'm open to any suggestions. But then the second thing, which I think is even more important, and you're going to have to work with your channel manager on this, your Nextiva channel manager, is creating maybe this concept of these local lunch and learn technology roadshows, right? Where we have 10, 20 attorneys come for a lunch and learn somewhere, whether maybe it's your office, like as an example, and our two guys in Ohio both have really great offices, right? Maybe we cater in lunch and bring in attorneys, to do, lunch and learn technology. I think those can be really super effective. But if you don't have space at your location or you don't want to do it there, we could always do it at restaurants for, find something cool to do. But those are the two sort of natural things that I felt like are going to get the most bang for the buck. But I'm going to maybe open it up to you guys right now to kind of hear what you think about those two concepts, and then maybe bring up any other concepts you guys like.
Yeah, Ira, this is John in Chicago. Hey, Ira, I like those two marketing strategies. Another one would be a social media package that we could, that maybe you guys can come up with, and we could engage in our social marketing activities. Have you thought about that at all?
That's interesting. I can maybe teach you guys some of the stuff that I'm doing. We could do another session on that. I've got my LinkedIn following up to about 15 or 16,000 people. And there's some things that I do. There's some methods to my madness. But I like that concept where if we could help you laser target law firms, John, in the Chicago area, or, Larry at BN team in the west side of Cleveland, or whatever, right? And just start connecting with lots of these attorneys. And then you start putting content out on LinkedIn, like a couple times a week that's really, really predicated towards attorneys and technology. And you become sort of the thought leader for those people. I can see that being a great way of warming people up. It's definitely not a fast process. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a process that if you do it right, you can reap lots of rewards down the road. I love that idea.
And Ira, I know that you've got a list of the attorneys, but are the attorneys that are, they may be making the final decision, but isn't it their IT director or IT group that's going to be looking at the different options for the law firm? And do you have access to maybe who they are in addition to maybe the attorneys?
Well, so right now the list is pretty broad. There's a lot of different types of people on it. Most are attorneys. I can tell you this, that I don't know if I know for a fact all attorneys' offices are not created equal. There was this one that we did here in Phoenix that was like 250 attorneys. And actually the decision came down to they have a technology council, and they're partners of the firm who actually end up making the final decision. So I don't know necessarily if we have IT people specific at law firms on this list. We may have to start with what we have right now, and maybe they can get you to the right person. But I can tell you at the end of the day, it's going to be the partners of the firm that make the decision. I can guarantee that.
Right.
Can I throw my 2 cents in?
Oh, Sarah, for sure.
Yeah, because you have a lot of attorneys, you know.
Yes. So, and our focus is actually small to mid-sized firms. So this is kind of our wheelhouse here. The office managers, office administrators, those are the people you want to get to. If they like you, they'll convince the partners to do anything. Most of the law firms of this size don't have their own in-house IT people that can afford it. So they're mostly using MSPs. And one of the best places to go to get access to a lot of lawyers, or actually a lot of law offices, it's called the ALA, the Association for Legal Administrators. It's a national organization. There are local chapters all over the country, and they often allow for partner organizations. So our local chapter of the ALA only allows one business type of one business of each type to be a partner. So they have one supply company, they have one insurance carrier, they have one technology provider. And we are our local chapter's one technology provider, which means we have full access to all of their membership, all of their law firms that are a membership. And we take a big, big role with our local ALA chapter. And let me tell you, the majority of the ALA members are our customers now. It is a really, really wonderful way. I see Chicago like nodding their heads like, oh, this is really cool. I can help you guys, sort of navigate that a little bit for you.
Wow, that's awesome.
We do a lot of marketing with them. We do a lot of education with them. And it's really been a blessing to us because it's all of these people at our doorstep. We're actually going to a cocktail hour next week, or actually this week with all of them. It's their fall kickoff, and we do a lot of really great marketing stuff with them. So the ALA is really a fabulous resource if you're looking to get into the legal vertical. But your office managers, your office administrators, those are the people you want more so. They're going to get you in the door. They're going to listen to you more than trying to go directly to the lawyers.
No, that's really, really good point. And, maybe we can use this list, multiple ways. Obviously we have the firm name. So from the firm name, we can find out who the office manager is and go from there. But I like that. And I like getting involved in your local community. I mean, the ALA I didn't know about, never heard of that, but that just shows my ignorance for the industry. But, there's other things like the American Bar Association, the Trial Lawyers Association. Like there's, I don't know how many there are, but there's a ton, I'm sure. Like I just looked here, American Immigration Lawyers Association, the Bar Association, the National Lawyers Association, Health Lawyers Association. Like it's crazy.
So Ira, hey, it's Neil. And at least in Virginia, the ALA we're a big sponsor of that from our IT side. And it is, at least here in the Richmond, in the surrounding areas, that is one of our biggest networking opportunities because it's all the practice managers. At the end of the day, the lawyers don't want to talk to us. It's the practice managers that need to make sure that the flow of information and the ease of use is there for the attorneys. And that is, I don't know if everyone else on this call is in the ALA in their areas, but for us, that's been one of our best networking opportunities, at least.
Is there only like one in an entire city, or is there multiple ALL groups in the city?
There's a
Every
national
state has an ALA, national. Yep.
Yeah, there's a national and then there's local chapters.
And would a city like Chicago have multiple local chapters or just one local chapter?
They may have multiple based on regions, depending on how they decide to split it up. The website, I posted it in the chat, it's alanet.org is the national website. And I believe you could search for chapters through there. If not, they may be able to point you in the direction of your local chapter. For us, we're on Long Island, so it's 2 counties. We have 1 chapter for the whole island.
That's great. Yeah, that's I think that's a home run. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But again, like I said, you can look at just lawyers associations, and there's so many. Like, I bet you all these guys have local chapters. Endless. I mean, even
we
like
do a lot of
Philippines.
presentations for the Bar Association, also mostly on like cybersecurity and keeping up with web requirements for different court systems. So at least 2 or 3 times a year, Michael, the owner of Glasser Tech, is in front of the Bar Association doing a workshop.
Excellent. All right. So I think this is something we all need to concentrate on, is find these associations and start getting involved and start, shaking hands and kissing babies. Or shaking babies and kissing hands. I'm not sure which it is. Okay, so that's good. What else, guys? What other things do you think we should be doing? Anyone? Bueller?
It's Darren in Florida. I like the idea also of the webinars. I do think the association is important, but a good way to make a splash in the association would be to announce a webinar targeting, specific needs they may have in this new product, and that might get some attendance up and then solidify those relationships even further.
Yeah, so I'll take that on my plate. I'll schedule, so we're here September 17th. So maybe we'll schedule 2 for October, give you guys some time to kind of work and kick up some leads and stuff. So I'll get a presentation done, and I'll set up a registration page for people to register for one of 2 webinars in October. Does that work?
So when you set something like that up and you get a bunch of admin or attorneys, and they get excited about it, how will you tell them to reach out to us?
Well, so that's a good question. So I think it's going to have to be you guys getting the interest from these people. That way you will have the contact with them ahead of time. Because I don't know how I would necessarily know where they came from if they just registered for our webinar unless you brought them to us. So I think that's going to take you guys sort of kicking up the leads a little bit and seeing who you can get on.
Yep.
Is there a way to track, like each of us have our own registration page to send our people, so when they register, who they registered under?
Yeah, we can probably figure that out.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'll check to see how to do that.
I think at a minimum we need those registration pages, but we'd rather just run our own webinars. But the other thing that happens is that once we start blasting Nextiva at them, and they call in to the direct sales line, and we're cut out of the issue.
Yeah, good point. I mean, the thing is, if we register the leads ahead of time, that's what I'm thinking. If you guys are controlling this process and you get somebody who's interested, first thing you should go into our quote portal and just do a quote for 1 seat, right? And that gets them in the system that you brought them in.
So you want us to go do 12,001 seat quotes?
Well, you're not gonna have 12,000. I mean, honestly, like there's only so many leads people can work on at a time. So,
right, but if you're doing a webinar, so the flow there is if you're going to take your list, divide it out, between the geographic areas where you have all of us positioned, and we're going to go through and email blast that list to try to work it. The people that respond to the webinar are not people that we have engaged until they've responded to the webinar.
Yeah.
I think the way that I would go about it is I would take that list and do a little bit of research on who I've been given, see if I've got any connections with firms or anybody to those people so I can get a warm introduction. I'm not going to e-blast out to 1,500 names and hope. I'm going to take a more focused approach, maybe take it 15, 20 leads at a time, do a really, really focused approach on them. I'm not going to send them the e-blast right away either, because it's just going to go to their spam. And you know what? We spend so much time training folks to not click on links that they don't know. that I think that kind of defeats the purpose. I would go for an introduction. I would go for some sort of warm lead into them before I even try to introduce them to the concept of a webinar. Otherwise, you're just coming straight out the gate as salesy, and I think you're going to get shut down. That's just how I
Agreed.
think about it.
Agreed, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. It's worked well for us in other markets. I mean, you know, our position is that we do, you know, we can go through and start using insurance as a vertical. We can go through and, you know, do our email blast, and then we have an outbound group that's set up for a specific vertical. Then an outbound group follows up to see what we can do, you know, if we don't have that in there. And then we also, you know, segment that list based upon priority of seed. So there's more of a science to it than that. But, you know, if people didn't click on links, none of us would have a job.
Well, and you know, I think every one of you may have a slightly different way of going to market here, right? And which is fine. You know, everyone's going to have their own way of kind of doing it. But I think, you know, for those of you who are going to do the email blast thing, you're going to have, I think, before you're advertising Nextiva, you know, you should give them fairly limited information, like, you know, email blast and say, hey, listen, you know, we work with attorneys in this area to help them improve their communication technology. You know, we'd love to, you know, be involved with you somehow. Again, I'm just talking off the cuff right now, right? And that way you guys can warm up those leads first and know who these people are before they even hear about us. And that's the way I would do it.
Hey, Ira, it's Maureen. I just have a quick question. I stepped out for a couple minutes, but I don't know if you covered this, but do you have any electronic or digital communications that we can send to the clients regarding the Clio product and the Nextiva partnership?
So we're putting together a one sheet. Yes, we're definitely putting together a one sheet. We will have something very soon. There's no doubt. But I think what these guys are saying is, listen, we want to be careful about exposing them to Nextiva too early in the process so they don't go around you guys, which I totally understand that. I think, you know, that's why I think you guys warming up the leads first before they come to a webinar or before they come to an event is super critical. So you know who your warm leads are. Because I think, you know, if you look at a sales funnel, you know, at the top, you have this wide spectrum of people, and then it slowly, you know, whittles down to the few who are interested. You know, when they're at the top, I don't think we really need, at the top of the funnel, I don't think we really need to let them know a lot of the serious details yet until you've qualified them as being a warmer lead. That's just my 2 cents. Any other questions or comments or ideas? You know, we may not get to it all on this call, but I just want to make sure if you have anything or you're thinking of anything, let's get it out here now.
I think it's a great start. I think we should kind of start with what we have and see how we can fine tune it and add more as we learn more.
Yeah. I think, you know, what we'll do is if you guys can email me with, if you have like the zip codes that are around you, fairly close to you, like give me the, you know, 10, 15 zip codes that are closest to you. That'll help me sort of identify what leads to pass to you guys. And then I'll start breaking down the data and figure out, okay, what do we have where, and start feeding you guys leads. But I think we should keep it pretty close to where you're at right now, because it's easy, right? If you need to go see somebody, or, you know, you don't want to have to go take a trip an hour away to go see somebody. Like, it's like we've got enough leads where if we keep it close to our physical location, I think we have plenty to go on. You know, maybe, and then we'll take a look at how much data we have in each of those, you know, areas, and then I'll start feeding you guys some leads, and you know, you guys start reaching out. And then you can work with your channel manager at Nextiva. You can work with me, you know, if you want any sort of, you know, specific help. You know, we just want to make sure that we're providing you with, you know, as much as we possibly can to help you be successful here. But and the most important thing, guys, here, and this is important for me is that I need to track this stuff. So, like, I'm not kidding you. Anytime we get a sale from any of these leads that we're providing you guys, I need to know about it because I need to report back up the food chain to our president of how this is working. So please don't forget about me as we're closing these deals. It's super important that I'm able to report on that. So let's, oh, go ahead. Okay. So let's do this, guys. If you guys can email me over, by tomorrow, let's say, what are the closest zip codes to you? I'll start parsing out the data. I'll start getting lists together for you guys. I'll create the webinars for October, in case you want to invite people to them. You can do your own webinars too if you want. Like, I don't want to dictate how you do your business. Like, there's some of you on this call who know a lot more than I do when it comes to legal. And I don't want to tell you I know how to do it. I think I have a pretty good grasp of it, but you probably know a lot better than me. So if you want to do your own webinars, you're more than welcome. I'm not going to dictate how you need to do this, but feel free to come up with your own processes, your own operations, and then maybe what we'll do is in a month we'll all kind of check back in together. And we'll talk about, hey, this is, we're seeing traction here. We're not seeing traction. This is what we tried. It worked. It didn't work. All that good stuff. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Sounds good to me.
So, and also, if you guys don't want to partake, it's fine. Just send me an email. Let me know, because I know this may not be for everybody. All right, guys, cool. Thanks for joining. I'm out of here from the courtroom. We'll see you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Eric.